What's up, guys? It's ClutchCousins Sports Podcast here. My name's Jarvis Phelps, and we're going to be talking about all things sports related, mostly the NFL and NBA, but we're also going to range all the way over to like esports and culture. But those will be in different episodes. We'll have sports episodes, mainly focused on NFL and NBA, and then we'll have our culture episodes with culture and esports. So let's get right into this episode. The first thing we're talking about is our NFL record predictions for this upcoming season.
So as you guys know, the NFL draft is over and they just came out with the schedules. So we basically looked at the schedules and we're going to predict our win shares for each team. So you want to start it off?
Yeah, let's start it off with the AFC East. I got the Bills at 9-7. What did you get?
I got the Bills at 9-7.
9-7. Yeah, I feel like Josh Allen's a good quarterback. They still have some tough opponents on their schedule this season. And they're a good team, but I don't think they're there yet. So I think they're going to win the division, though. But they still have some. They have some work to do still.
Yeah, the East is up for grabs, and you just have to see they acquire Stephon Diggs, so we have to see how that plays a factor.
Yeah, for
pushing
sure.
The ball downfield. So yeah.
Next, I got the Dolphins at 6-10.
I got the Dolphins at 6 wins too. Now this depends on if Tua plays or not. We do not know yet.
I feel like, with the contract they gave him, the $7 million a year, which is pretty high for an NFL rookie, I feel like they're planning on playing him as soon as possible. It seems like, to me.
But we'll see if Fitzmagic pulls some magic.
Yeah, he is getting old, but we could see maybe Fitzmagic playing the first couple games of the season, and then they switch over to Tua depending on how he does. So. All right, here's an interesting one. The Patriots, I got them at 8-8.
8-8.
Yeah.
I got the Patriots at 7-9.
7-9. Yeah. I don't believe in Jarrett Stidham, right? I don't believe in him. Later in this podcast, we're going to talk about some potential players that might go there, including a quarterback. So that could change things. But as for now, if it's Jarrett Stidham, he's not that good, but I do believe in the coaching staff. I think they could still be 8-8, which is decent.
Yeah, the coaching staff with Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. You can never count down.
About Bill Belichick, he's great, but he did have 20 more losses than wins in his career before Tom Brady. So that is true. That is true. All right, next.
And Stidham's first preseason game, 3 completions, 1 interception. So.
Yeah, he's still young. But I just don't see him as like the star quarterback taking over.
Who we got next?
I got the Jets at 6-10.
I got the Jets at
5. 5-11. All right.
5-11.
Yeah, Sam Darnold is a good player. I don't know. I have a feeling he's just going to be a bust. I don't know if it's the system he's in. I've never had that much faith in him, though, if I'm being honest.
He's got a big arm, but no weapons. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then you can't have Le'Veon Bell without like a good offensive line. They beefed it up a little bit. They signed George Fant, who's pretty nice. But I don't think it's enough for them to really make any noise. All right. AFC North.
Here we go.
So this one might be, it's still a good record, but it might shock some people. I have the Ravens at 11-5.
We got the Ravens at 10-6.
Really?
I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last
year. Because everyone's saying they're going to do really good because they have the easiest schedule actually this season.
But the less miles on the road at 6.
Yeah, but I don't see them being the same team as last year. I think people are going to find a way to stop their offense. Although it's hard, it's not going to happen right away. But after a full off season of coaches preparing for them, I don't see them being as successful.
Yeah, I agree.
Next we got the Bengals. Joe Burrow, I'm pretty sure he's going in there on day one. Let's see about AJ Green, but I got them at 6-10.
I got them at 5. The Bengals is hard because they were the worst defense last year in the whole league.
Yeah.
And Joe performed as great as we've imagined. So in the college football.
I think for them to turn it around, they had 2 wins this season. Yeah, 2-14. So I think for them to go up to 6, 6-10 is not a good record, but for them it's a great improvement. So
especially in this division.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got the Browns, highly controversial team. I got them at 9-7.
I got them at 10-6.
10-6. You believe in them? ah, it's just so hard to believe in them. They let me down year after year, and I mean, it's just
I feel that, but last year they had a rookie head coach,
that is.
and
I don't even know
now
why he was the head coach. He seemed like the least qualified person to be the head.
no least qualified person to really coach the team,
Uh,
and they added even more talent to that star-studded roster.
they have a young coach, but if he can find a way to put those pieces together, that could be a really, really good team. But Baker needs to throw less picks. That's the other thing, but he'll learn.
Yes.
All right, I got the Steelers. Big Ben coming back, 10-6.
I got the Steelers at 9-7.
All right, so we got the Browns and the Steelers flipped. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, I mean, I wish the Steelers could have done more when they had Bell, Brown, Big Ben, the killer bees. But
That
hopefully,
6-year window was their opportunity,
it
and
was.
now I think it just slipped. And Ben is due for another injury. I hate to say it.
I mean, I don't know if Mason Rudolph's the guy. Like I heard in a report, they want him to be the next franchise quarterback, but we'll see. We'll see how he does. All right, I
I
got
don't know.
the AFC South. Big moves in the AFC South. DeAndre Hopkins going to the Cardinals. Philip Rivers coming to the division.
Yep,
I'm starting with the Texans. I got them at 10-6.
I got him at 8 wins.
8 wins. You don't
I
think
don't
so?
know.
I think it's going to be a big year for Deshaun Watson. I know his offensive line is not good, but if he can get some protection this year, I think they can lock up a 10-win season.
I think they traded for Tunsil last year on the O line. They probably dropped an O line person. They lost Hopkins and replaced him with two worse receivers. So
I know. I mean, Brandon Cooks is still talented, but it's not DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, thinking about it again, if I were to go through that again, I probably would put the Texans at 9-7. But we'll see. Now here's a big one. I believe in Philip Rivers going to the Colts. I got them at 12-4.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
12-4.
I got him at 8 wins.
8 wins. I just have a feeling about Philip Rivers this year. I think a change of scenery, a new system.
Probably.
I
Yeah,
think he
you
can
could be
perform.
right. You could be right. But last time we saw him on the field, he was the most immobile quarterback.
Yeah,
He was standing straight up like a stick.
I know. We'll see what happens. I have trust in Philip Rivers. I just have a feeling. All right,
All right.
we got the Jags. I got them at 4-12.
I got him at 4-12 too. No way they get over 5 wins.
No way. They lost all their star players. Blake Bortles still there? I don't.
I think they cut him from their roster.
I mean, and Leonard Fournette, he's a good running back, but he's not great. I mean,
He's not as hype as he was projected.
yeah, it's just I don't. They lost so many key pieces, and I don't know why. Like I don't know. I guess they're in rebuild mode now. That's all I could
Guess
say.
so.
Now we got the Titans, the surprise Titans from last year with Derrick Henry. I got them at 10-6.
Okay, I got him at 9 wins, but I could go for 10. This
Yeah.
was my favorite team last year in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Sure.
Titans, they're a fun team to watch. I definitely think they have a game plan figured out now. I mean, everyone knows their game plan. They just run it with Derrick Henry, but it's just can people stop it? That's the thing. Yeah. It's like,
and they gave Tannehill that big contract, so he's gonna have to make plays down the stretch.
Yeah, and he's talented. He didn't have to do that much work last year because he had Henry, but he's still a talented quarterback. All right, AFC West, one of the tougher divisions in the league. We got the Broncos, who had a great draft. Drew Lock got a lot of weapons this year, but I still got them at 8-8 because they're still a young team.
I got them at 7-9.
Yeah, so they're still young. They're gonna do okay. I would probably put them a little higher, but they have to play the Raiders, who got a lot better this offseason, and they have to play the Chiefs, both of those teams twice a year. So it's tough. It's mostly their division. All right, I got the Chiefs.
I'm glad that Drew Lock got weapons to throw the ball to because they got him a tight end, they got him some receivers. Last year he had nobody, and he still kind of balled.
Only thing I'm worried about is we haven't seen a ton of game film on him. He's played some games, but I want to see him play a full season all the way through, see how he does, But we'll see. All right, next up, the Chiefs, the reigning champs. I got them at 13-3.
I got them at 12-4.
12-4.
They're gonna be up there no matter what.
They're gonna be somewhere in that range. I don't have them going higher than 14, but they're definitely not going to go lower than 11. They're going to be in that playoff range right there.
And I think Mahomes won't get injured again like he will.
Yeah.
He had a freak injury last year.
That was definitely a weird injury, and they still ended up winning it. It's like, how do you stop their offense? Like, someone has to be on Travis Kelce, someone has to be on Spencer Ware, someone has to be on Tyreek Hill. Like,
and they
I don't know.
just drafted the LSU running back.
To get 900 to 1,000 rushing yards this season, which especially for the Chiefs offense, that's really good because they distribute the ball so much. It's just another weapon for Patrick. And
think about their running back during the Super Bowl almost got the MVP, and now they get another running back. Wow.
Just it's like first of all, Patrick Mahomes is just naturally talented, and then you surround him with the arguably the best offense in the league. It's scary. It's scary.
They're going to be a buzzsaw for years.
Yeah. Next team. I'm excited about this team. I like the Raiders. I have them 11-5.
Wow, I got them at 7.
Oh.
I think 11 might not be far off.
I don't know. I believe in them this year. It's kind of like with Phillip Rivers. I believe like Derek Carr. He was good. They had that 12-4 season. He got hurt. He didn't get to play in the playoffs.
No.
He's had some rough seasons, but I think he bounces back this season. They got Henry Ruggs. They beefed up their defense. Their defense needed help. They beefed up the defense. I think they got Nelson Aguilar, Henry Ruggs, Josh Jacobs is a beast. I think if Derek Carr even has just a pretty good season, the Raiders can definitely be a wild card team.
They could be, and they drafted Mariota as a backup. So even if Carr misses a couple games, Mariota might win a couple. So
yeah. Next, I got the Chargers. I love Justin Herbert, great quarterback from Oregon, but I still got them at 4-12.
I got them at 6.
6.
It's from being almost in the Super Bowl 2 years ago to now 4 or 6 wins. Not looking.
It's also the division they're in. They have the Broncos they have to compete against who are up and coming. They have the Chiefs. They have the Raiders they have to compete against. And they have a rookie quarterback that they're going to rely on most likely. So
would it be a different story if they had Tom Brady or maybe?
Oh,
I don't know.
If the Chargers have Brady, I mean, I would put them probably 9-7, 10-6. It's just when you put Brady with Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, Chris Godwin, it's going to be scary to watch. I'm excited to watch. All right, next NFC East, your favorite division.
Here we go.
Starting off with the Cowboys, I got them at 10-6.
I got them at
11-5.
11-5 this year.
Yeah, I was almost gonna put them at 11-5, but I don't think Dak. First of all, great quarterback. He wants a little too much money though. He's a great quarterback though. But when you look at the stats, I think I want to say Dak had 9 interceptions last year, 9 or 10, but 7 of his interceptions I saw were actually dropped because of his receivers. It was either off their hands or they dropped it and it fell into the defender's hands. So interceptions that were his fault, only 3, which is really impressive. So, and I think the new coach is going to be great for them. I just don't think Jason Garrett was the right guy for the Cowboys job. It took him it took him a little too long to get rid of him, but I think it's good. Now the Giants.
Yeah, Giants. I got them at 6.
I got them at 7-9.
I don't know. Danny Dimes, we'll see if he improves this year.
I like Daniel Jones. He's inconsistent, but the potential he's already showing, for a rookie, I like it. It's definitely good.
Saquon will always be solid.
Yeah, he'll always be.
No more injuries for Saquon.
Yeah, hopefully he's a fantasy beast. I had him in fantasy last year. He let me down because he got injured, but it's all right. Hopefully this year. Yeah. Next, we got the Eagles. What do you have them at?
I got them at 8 wins.
Yep, 8-8. I got them at 8-8. They're good, but
I don't know. They need people. Carson Wentz needs somebody to throw the ball to.
He needs weapons.
They couldn't land DeAndre Hopkins, and when you got guys off your practice squad coming in playoff games, it's not looking good.
It's like you can have that MVP quarterback, but if you don't even have one solid receiver to throw to, it's hard, you know.
It comes back to the contract situation. They paid him a contract. They paid Goff a contract, and now they can't put weapons around it.
I know. I mean, look at the Rams. They got rid of all their draft picks. They spent all their cap space. They're being sued right now because apparently they owe players more money, and they can't afford to pay them. They're building a stadium, and they got to the Super Bowl and they scored 3 points. They did all that to kick 1 field goal. So it's just they had such a talented roster. They had such a good coach, but they put, they just bet too much on one little small time span. They got to the Super Bowl, but they just didn't win it. All right, I got the Redskins next. I got them at 2-14.
I got them at 6. I don't know.
6.
I don't even know if that's possible with the scheduling, but I don't know.
I was looking at their schedule here. I can look at it. I can pull it up real quick. Um,
All I know is they got Ron Rivera. He builds culture. He will build a winning football
that
program.
is true.
Will they win the Super Bowl? I don't know, but he'll build a winner.
I
And
mean,
they've got a
yeah.
young quarterback. So we'll see.
I don't. Their what is their quarterback's name? It's Dwayne Haskins.
Right now.
I don't. Ever since he was drafted, I had like a gut feeling. I didn't see him as being like a good solid quarterback. I don't see him as being a star in the league. I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like even when he was drafted, because he was drafted a little later than he thought, and he was kind of being cocky about it. Whereas other people are just grateful that they're drafted. He was kind of being cocky about it. I just think he confidence is good, but I think he thinks he's better than he actually is, and I think that's going to slow him
If
down.
Rivera and him can become the next Rivera and Cam combo without the running, it might
Yeah,
work.
it's just I like the Redskins. I don't see them beating the Eagles. I don't see them beating the Cardinals. I don't see them beating the Browns, the Ravens, maybe the Rams.
Maybe.
I think the Giants will be a little bit better than them. They're not going to beat the Cowboys. They play the Giants again, maybe. They play the Lions. I have them beating the Bengals, maybe. I mean, there's not many teams on like they're just not really better than any other team besides like the Jaguars, maybe. You know what I mean? So it's
I'm gonna
just
change it. I'm gonna say under five. They're gonna win under five.
yeah, it's just I don't see them winning that many. I don't know. All right, next
All right.
up, NFC North. We got the Bears. I got them at 5-11.
I got him at 7. I mean,
7.
that's shocking.
I just Mitchell Trubisky is just I'm gonna say he's just so bad. He's just so I just I can't believe they passed up on what Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
And they traded.
They traded up.
Wow.
That's another one of those things like the Rams. They bet a lot on one thing, and it's just if it doesn't work out, you're kind of screwed. That's like, yeah,
The factor is, will Nick Foles get a chance to play?
that is true. But Nick Foles, he didn't really perform on the Jaguars last year as well. So
he got injured early.
that is true. That is true.
So if Trubisky can lead him to the last playoff spot, and then Foles takes him all the way like the Eagles, why not?
At the same time, though, they have to play the Packers and the Vikings twice. It's like,
those two are buzzsaw.
Yeah, and then we got the Lions. I got them at 7-9.
I got them at 5.
5.
What did they win? They won 3 last year.
Okay, but they blew a fourth quarter lead in all of their losses almost. If they keep that fourth quarter lead, they're 10-6. So it's like I don't think the Lions are as bad as they were last season. They just had trouble like keeping leads. They were just kind of unlucky, I think. I also don't think they're super talented, but I think right in the middle. They're just a decent team.
So they traded Slay and drafted Akuda. I don't understand.
They could have just kept Slay and then got an Akuda on the other side, and they would have had really good cornerbacks. Slay was still pretty young. I really wanted the Seahawks to pick up Slay, but it is what it is. So next up, the Packers. We have a lot to talk about for these guys. I have them at 11-5.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've got them at 9.
Wow. It's just Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's going to lead them to wins. We know that. It's just, what was your reaction when they drafted Jordan Love? Like, what were you thinking?
Shock, disbelief. Is this the new Favre Rodgers thing?
I know. I was like,
are they replacing him?
It's weird because I read a thing. They said that like the whole sitting for 2 or 3 years and learning under another quarterback, that's kind of a dead trend. But then other analysts were saying that he still needs 2 or 3 years to develop before he can play. So maybe that's what they're trying to do. But also it's kind of a slap in the face to Rodgers, where in the Brett Favre situation, they had weapons. Brett Favre had people to throw to. Rodgers, I mean, he has Devontae Adams. That's a great choice. But like besides that, it's like give the man some weapons. You know what I mean?
That's it. They haven't drafted an offensive player in the last 20 years. It's been all defense. Just imagine that.
And their defense has never. When's the last time their defense was like a top 5, or like even like their defense is always just average. I mean, from what I've seen,
they were blown out in the championship game.
Yeah.
Game away, and they were blown out.
So I mean, if Rodgers, think about it. You give Rodgers weapons, he'll put points on the board every single drive almost. So I don't know. We'll see.
They said that Love was their top guy on their board, on their draft board, but still, priorities first, I would say.
I was hearing that like Aaron Rodgers was getting cocky, and it was like a message to him saying, "Hey, we can get rid of you this fast." I don't know if that's true. It might. I don't see why would you waste your first round pick to send a message. I think you can just tell him that directly. So I don't know if it was that because they could just give him a phone call and tell him that honestly. Um, I like the coach. I like the coaching staff. I just don't know about that decision. It was definitely a weird one. But if Jordan Love ends up being really good, then they have a quarterback for the future. So all right, next I got the Vikings. Got them at 10-6.
I've got them at 11. I think they're going
Ooh.
to be pretty good this year.
All right, yeah, they're definitely a solid team. Great defense. ClutchCousins. He finally got his primetime win last season against the Saints in the playoffs. It was a push off a little bit, but I mean Rudolph was a little bit, but he got his win. So and they were at what like the 5 yard line. So I mean they probably. Here's a fun division: NFC South. Lots of changes. Falcons 4-12 for the Falcons. 4-12.
I've got them at 7.
7. All right. I just, I mean, yeah, I could. They're a weird team. They go to the Super Bowl one year, they miss the playoffs the next. It's like I just feel like this is one of those down years. Matt Ryan's getting older every year.
Yep.
I don't know. Julio didn't have a great season last season. We'll see. But based on what I saw last year, I don't see them doing too good.
Yeah, the thing is, they paid Ryan a big contract. They can't get players around him. They got Gurley, so if Gurley can have a comeback,
I mean, it's just you just picked up a running back with arthritis. I don't know how much you want to depend on. I don't know how much you want to depend on that. He's definitely Gurley could have been one of the greatest running backs ever. Unfortunately, he had those knee injuries and the arthritis and everything. But I just like when people were saying like, "Oh, the Falcons' new big three: Matt Ryan, Julio, and Todd Gurley." I was like, "How did Todd Gurley do last season? How is he like? You know what I mean? He's not really like he. I don't really see put him in like a big three. That's like if someone signed Adrian Peterson and they're like, oh, he's going to change his whole franchise around. It's like, no, he's not. He back in his heyday, he was great, but yeah, no. All right, Panthers got them at 7-9.
The hometown team. I got them at 6, so you got them better than I did.
6, yeah. Christian McCaffrey's so good. I mean, it's hard to stop him. Like, and people know the game plan too. They just give it to McCaffrey almost every play, and they can't stop it. He's just so talented.
Exactly. And Bridgewater was 5-0 last year, so
yeah,
he won't make mistakes. He won't be clutch, but he won't make mistakes.
I would put them higher, but it's Bridgewater's first season in a new system, and they have to play the Bucks and the Saints twice a year. So it's just I would love to put them at like 9-7 or 10-6 if they were in a different division, but I can't. All right, next up the Saints.
Coach a 7-year deal, which tells you they're playing for the future, not right now, because this division's stacked.
Yeah, for sure. Because Brady, he's going to dominate the next couple of years, in my opinion. Drew Brees still has a couple of years left, and then after that, it's probably the Panthers' time again. So we'll see.
Probably.
All right, we got the Saints. I got them at 12-4.
I got them at
10-6.
They're up there.
They're just I don't see the Panthers beating them. I don't see the Falcons beating them. I that's like 4 free wins right there, pretty much. I have the Saints actually beating the Bucks in Week 1, only because it's just Tom Brady's first game with his new teammates. I know he adjusts pretty fast, but it's still like because he's been through a lot of receivers, but he still is in a whole new system, and he's played in Belichick's system for so long. And to play such a tough opponent Week 1, it's like I have them winning Week 9 against the Saints. I have the Bucks winning that, but Week 1, I think the Saints edge them out. And now, speaking of the Bucks, I got them at 13-3.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe in the Bucks. I believe in them.
I say 11, but it's possible they can get 13. They're gonna shock lock.
They're just it's like you've never seen Tom Brady with this talent. I mean, maybe with Aaron Hernandez and like he's had Randy Moss before. He's had some weapons, but like
the 16 in 1 year was pretty incredible.
This is the thing. 13-3 if Gronk plays above average. Yeah. If Gronk is injured or he just doesn't play that well, probably around 11-5. But
two other tight ends behind him and OJ.
Yeah.
They have
just
receivers. and they're stacked.
Could you imagine a double set, two wide receivers? They got Godwin and Evans, and then they got Gronkowski and like Howard or Cameron Brate. It's like it's just and the defense, the Buccaneers defense. This is the part where I'm like 13-3 because they have no Pro Bowlers on their defense, but they still have a top 10 defense, and no one ever talks about it because they don't have any stars on the defense. But they've always consistently had a great defense, so that's why I believe in them.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Next team, okay, NFC West, my division as a Seahawks fan. First up, we got the Cardinals. I like them. I have them 9-7.
I've got them at 7 wins.
I could see that. I could see that. They're in a tough division, but I've heard Kyler Murray, he's supposed to have a breakout season, and I can see it. So, and he has DeAndre Hopkins to throw to now, the best wide receiver in the league. So,
yeah, and they got that O line fixed up.
Yeah.
He was running for his life.
So. Yeah, he was running everywhere. I was watching Cardinals games. I felt so bad for him. Like the Seahawks, we have one of the worst defensive lines, and we were still pressuring him so much. So it's like, all right. Next up, the Rams. One of the saddest stories in the NFL. I got them at 5-11.
I've got them at 7 wins as well. It's just not looking good for the Rams.
Their division, they're in the toughest division in the NFL. They lost so many pieces this offseason. Jared Goff, I don't know what's going on with Jared Goff. He's just
the play action pass is no longer working as
yeah. Next up, we got the 49ers. I got them at 11-5.
I got them back at 12.
12? I think they're going to be like the Ravens a little bit. They had a great season last season. People are going to figure them out a little bit more. And honestly, this might be a bold statement, but I don't see them winning a Super Bowl with Jimmy G. He just doesn't seem like the man. Like they have all these pieces. He's a good quarterback, but like I was saying earlier, you need an above average quarterback if you want to win Super Bowls. And it's just like they have a great run game, but like you see what happened in the Super Bowl. They kind of got figured out later on, and Jimmy G wasn't making like spectacular plays like Patrick Mahomes was. You know what I mean?
I agree. So it's just. I think that you mentioned several things before you get to Jimmy G. You mentioned the defense, the running backs, the coach. You mentioned the coach before you get to Jimmy G.
Yeah, you mentioned everything, and then it's like Jimmy G. You know what I mean?
If he makes that play in the Super Bowl to Sanders, they win the game.
But it's just
can't make the throw.
He needs to execute. He just I don't know. He's in a great system.
Skill too. Comes down to skill.
Yeah. All right. My favorite team, Seahawks. I think they're gonna have a great year. We have a lot of young players who have developed. They get better every year. We beefed up the O-line. Our running backs are healthy this year. Russell Wilson's hungry to win. I got them at 13-3.
Wow.
That's
bold. I've got them at 9 or 10. 9 or 10.
See, this is the reason. Think about it. The Seahawks, we get one more yard against the 49ers in week 17, and we're the number 1 seed. Think about it that way.
Yeah.
Chris Carson and Rashad Penny, if they don't get hurt in week 16 against the Cardinals, we're probably going to beat the Packers because we barely lost to the Packers with no run game. We had like a 30-something-year-old Marshawn Lynch getting us like 2 yards a carry. No disrespect to him. It's just when you have no other running backs besides Marshawn Lynch, and I don't even know the other guy's name, and we rely on our running game. That's what our whole offense is about. You know what I mean? And we didn't have it, and we almost beat the 13-3 Packers. So if we can stay healthy, it could be a really good season.
Do we know if Marshawn's coming back, or have we heard yet?
There's been talks. I hope he comes back. Like I was saying, I know he didn't perform as well as some people thought he would, but Marshawn on the goal line is a beast. If you saw him in the games that we had him play in, all those 1-yard runs, we gave it to him, which we should have done in the Super Bowl, but now we're doing it at least. He pounds it in. No one can tackle him. It's like it's a weird thing I've noticed about the Seahawks. It's almost like we're cursed ever since the Super Bowl. We always get tackled on the 1. And then we sometimes struggle getting the ball into the end zone. But with Marshawn, we gave it to him one time, bam, he just pounds it in. So I think that's what we need. We need like a power runner because Chris Carson, he's a good shifty running back. He's strong too. Rashad Penny, definitely a shifty running back, but we need like that goal line guy that we can just depend on to get it in. Kind of like a Mark Ingram or like a Derrick Henry, that can just pound the ball.
I say as long as you have Wilson, magic will happen.
Yeah.
He will lead you guys to wins.
All right.
For sure.
Our next topic for today, our best landing spots for Cam Newton. We're both fans of the guy. I don't know why he isn't signed yet. It's a little interesting. He's going to get signed for sure, in my opinion. But I'm gonna start it off. I think the spot, not the spot where I wanted to go, but the one that makes the most sense is the Jaguars. What do you
I
think?
agree with that.
Jaguars?
I say either Jaguars, Patriots, and originally I thought the Chargers were the best spot for him,
Yeah.
but they took Herbert, so that's off the board now. And they got Tyrod Taylor as a backup. But Cam's a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, MVP, and someone's got to pick him up eventually.
He's a winner for sure. It's just he gets injured. And I think if he's in a system where he doesn't have to scramble as much, like he'll always have that in his back pocket. He'll always be a good scrambler. But like on the Panthers, for example, I think he had weapons. I also think it was kind of his fault. I think he just wanted to scramble because he was good at it. But he ended up taking too many shots, and eventually that's going to get to his body. But I think if he's in a system where he can sit back in the pocket, just throw it, run when he needs to, not all the time, he could definitely be good. All right, second team I
What do you
got.
think of Cam to the Patriots?
We're gonna get to that soon. We're gonna get to that soon. The next team that makes the most sense is the Bears. Because
Okay.
I don't see Gardner being the guy on the Jaguars. I don't see Mitchell Trubisky being the guy. I've heard rumors about the Bears being potentially interested. The other thing, though, for the Bears is they don't really have that many weapons for Cam either. But I definitely think it would be better than, Trubisky is doing. I feel like Mitchell's the guy, and he doesn't have a lot of weapons on the Bears either, but he would definitely do a better job than Mitchell Trubisky's doing right now.
Yeah, Trubisky
So,
is just a disaster. But the thing is, Folds and Coach Nagy played together in Philly, so that's kind of where their offense is based. A lot of play action pass, and I don't know if Cam can do that stuff pretty effectively.
yeah. So, I think it's just an option for them. It makes sense if he went there, but it's not where I want to see him go. Now, number 3 on the list, where I really want Cam to go. I don't know if it fits Belichick's system, but Cam Newton to the Patriots. That would be fun to watch.
That would be pretty great to watch.
If the Patriots pick up a former MVP right after they are losing a former MVP, it's weird because I've never seen, when you look at Garoppolo, you look at Jared Stidham, you look at Tom Brady, it's like you've never seen the Patriots go with a mobile quarterback. You know what I mean? But like, can't I don't know. I feel like Belichick's definitely an old school kind of coach. He has the old school style. Cam's definitely like a newer, like the whole mobile quarterback era. Him and Russell kind of started that whole thing. But that would be fun to watch. That would definitely be fun.
That would be fun. But for Cam, is that really where you want to go? Replacing the GOAT, and then if you don't live up to it, it's not a great look.
I don't know if anyone expects him to live up to Tom Brady, but I definitely think they expect him to get them to the playoffs. I think that's what would be expected out of him.
I agree.
Okay, next thing, they definitely need a quarterback. They have a young quarterback, but Cam said he's open to being a backup, and this might help if Dwayne Haskins doesn't do good, but I got him going to the Redskins potentially.
That could be a potential match made in heaven if he gets reunited with Ron.
That could be fun. Reunited with his old coach. And it would still give Dwayne Haskins time to develop, but at least they'd have a safer option, behind him.
Yep.
So that could be good. All right, this one I also really like. I heard some rumors about this. I heard some rumors about Jameis Winston going here, but Cam to the Steelers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that.
It's just I heard Big Ben getting old, kind of what they're doing in Green Bay. Jordan Love learning under Aaron Rodgers. People wanted Jameis Winston to learn under Big Ben,
Yep.
and this would be. Cam Newton's a veteran quarterback by now, but when Big Ben leaves, they have another option with Cam, so that's a potential.
That's potential. And Cam and Antonio Brown are best friends, so Antonio back to Pittsburgh could always be in the mix if that happens.
Possibly, I don't know. I feel like Pittsburgh. I feel like they're just done with Antonio Brown at this point.
They might be.
Yeah. Do you have any other teams I didn't list here that you have him going to?
Let me see. I looked around the league. A lot of positions are just filled. We're gonna have to wait until there's a QB injury, unfortunately.
I know,
to
probably.
see where Cam lands.
My prediction, I think he's going to get signed to a team that needs a backup. I would love to see him go to the Patriots, but realistically, I don't see them picking him up. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, he's probably not signed right now just because they want to do workouts with him. They want to see how his body's doing after all those injuries. And right now, there's no workouts being done because of coronavirus.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I see him being a backup for a while, so I don't know.
I see week 4 after. You never know where Cam will land.
Yeah. All right, let's restart. Okay. So, guys, we're in our NBA segment of the podcast now, and because free agency is over, and because the NBA season's canceled and there's no like schedule predictions that we can do or record predictions, we're just making up some scenarios. So, our first one is, if you were to start a franchise with one of the three following players, who are you picking? You picking Luca, John Morant, or Zion, and why? I'll let you start.
All three of these players have really risen their teams up from where they were to start without them.
For sure.
Skill wise, I'm gonna have to pick Luca. But talent wise and potential and star power, it's Zion. Zion could sell tickets, but I think Luca's the best option here. He's a 6'8" point guard, the most dominant position on the court. He gets his teammates involved. He hits clutch shots. He's basically a skillful white LeBron.
Honestly, he's the white king. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you. Like, if I had to pick one, it has to be Luca. Like, Ja is amazing. I think Ja did better than everyone thought he would. Same thing in college. He was overlooked in college. He balled out. He was he was overlooked in NBA because of Zion. If it weren't for Zion, he would have been like so hyped up. But him and Zion were in the same draft class. He's super good. Now, I think Zion has the most potential out of all three of these guys. The thing is the injuries. The injuries are what scare me. If I'm starting a franchise, I want a reliable, healthy player, and I think that's what Luca is. He's had minor injuries, but nothing like Zion missing a bunch of games, like when at Zook he had the injury, or Zook at Duke when he had the injuries. You know what I mean? I got to go with Luca. Luca is just he was in the MVP talks earlier this season. It's his second year. He's putting up LeBron type numbers. When LeBron was that age, he's exceeding those numbers. So it's just I got to go with Luca. Luca
It's
is
scary. It's scary. Luka, and now with Porzingis coming back from injury, even more time to rest during this COVID-19 pandemic.
and Luca's putting in work at wherever he can. But the other thing is the Mavs, their star European player retires, and then a star European player is drafted. I don't know what it is with Mark Cuban and him loving European players, but it works out.
You've been loving
It works,
European players,
dude. It's
but I would say Jaw and Jerry Jackson. That's a duo for the future as well.
oh yeah. Oh wait, hold up. Do you hear that? All right, but yeah, John Morant and Jared, what's it, Jaren Jackson, definitely. Isn't there one more guy on the Grizzlies? It's Jaren Jackson, John Morant, and
They got shoot. They got some shooter. I know.
there's one other young player he's really good. I forgot his name right now, but the Grizzlies, they're one of the teams that people are saying in a few years they could be going to the finals for sure. Yep. So definitely all three of them are going to transform those franchises. My favorite, I love the Lonzo and Zion connection. I think that's going to be good for a long time.
Can't wait to go down to New Orleans.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Luca is he's on another level. Like Zion's great, but Luca is he's the best. Yeah. All right, so our next topic, highly controversial right now, especially with the Last Dance documentary going on. But we are going to talk about who is the GOAT, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. All right, so I'm going to let you start with this one too. Who do you think, as of right now, is the GOAT?
As of right now, I'm gonna have to go with LeBron. I don't know if it's age bias or what it is, but LeBron's played more games. He's got more points. He's got more rebounds, more assists, more wins. People are always going to hold the finals over him, losing all those finals, but at least he got to those finals. And LeBron's on a mission to become the number one scorer in NBA history, honestly.
I mean, when you think about it, I got to go with LeBron too. Maybe I've always been a LeBron fan. I got to be honest, I didn't grow up watching Jordan, so I mean, that plays a role in it. But when you look at the numbers, you're right. When you think of LeBron, you don't think of a scorer. And he's still, he has the third most points in NBA history?
Yep.
It's like you don't even think of a scorer, and he's up there. He has more rebounds. He has more assists. He leads Jordan in almost every statistical category, in terms of like total points, total assists, total rebounds. He's an all-around player. The finals debate, it's just, I get MJ he went to 6 finals. He won all 6. That's super impressive. That's why he's still the second best player in my opinion. But when you think about it, LeBron's been to 9.
Yeah.
Did MJ have to play Katie, Curry, Thompson, Draymond Green? Did MJ ever have
Warriors?
did he ever did he have competition like that? No. And that happened to LeBron twice. After KD went to the Warriors, it wasn't everyone knew. Like they knew the Cavs weren't going to win. If they won one game, they were lucky. MJ never had to go against the that was pretty much the greatest team in NBA history that LeBron had to go up against.
Yeah.
He beat them, the 3-1 comeback, which was amazing. And the year before that, he took the Cavs to 6 games, and Kyrie and Kevin Love weren't even playing most of the series. It's like I get he has those losses, but when you think about it, the ones where Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt, he would have won that one. Mm-hmm. If Durant never goes to the Warriors, LeBron might win one of those. I don't think he wins both of those finals that he lost during the Durant era on the Warriors, but I think he might win one. So and also the teams that he got in 2007 when he took the Cavs to the finals, like
horrible.
Who else on that team is a notable player besides LeBron? You have MJ with Dennis Rodman. You have him with Scottie Pippen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Through all those titles, LeBron. And then the other thing is everyone's like, oh, well, LeBron's in the East. He can go to the finals easily. The East is weak. And I know we didn't finish the season. LeBron comes to the West. Second year in the West, he's first seed. You know what I mean?
Until the injury.
And last year, the Lakers would have probably been the 4th seed, and he hurt his groin, and he was playing with 2 second and third year players. You know what I mean? And how old was he in 2007? He was 25 or something, and he took the Cavs to the finals with no notable players. It's just, I get MJ. He'll always have the finals thing, the 6 for 6. It's super impressive, but LeBron's consistency, LeBron not even being seen as a scorer, and he's most likely going to be the highest scoring player in NBA history is just, it's on another level.
People will always say LeBron is a better athlete and a better teammate, but nobody will be as clutch as Michael Jordan.
That is true. I'll always give Jordan that. And I'm not even saying LeBron is far better than Jordan. It's definitely super close. Like I barely have LeBron over Jordan. The reason I have LeBron over Jordan is because I already feel like he's the GOAT. He's barely over Jordan right now, and he still has 3 more years. He's still going to keep adding on points. He's still going to keep on adding on wins.
In my opinion, if LeBron wins a championship with the Lakers and wins a championship with 3 different teams, and he becomes the player with the most points of all time, he will beat Jordan for the best player of all time.
Right now, it's definitely debatable. Like, it's definitely controversial, debatable. If LeBron wins one with the Lakers, like you said, and he has the most points in history, I don't think it should be a debate. Because can MJ go to 3 different teams? Think about it. It's like LeBron went to the Lakers around the same age that MJ went to the Wizards. You know what I mean? Maybe MJ didn't have the same pieces around him, but look at LeBron's age. Look at the numbers he's putting up.
If you think about it, MJ needed the coach, the players, and the system, the triangle.
He had Phil Jackson. LeBron goes anywhere and he wins. He went to Cleveland with pretty much no help. I mean, he had Kyrie when they won, for sure.
Yeah.
Besides Kyrie, like Tristan Thompson. I mean, does that even count? You know what I mean?
Kevin Love was older.
Kevin Love, he didn't really play like he used to. He wasn't the Timberwolves Kevin Love. It's just, if LeBron can win 3 championships with 3 different organizations, and I get he has Anthony Davis and he has players around him, but it's still a new system. It's adjusting to a new system. It's like,
it's the first year they're all together.
First year they're together. They're already the number 1 seed. You can't say that for a lot of teams. You know what I mean? It's like, and then right before the season got canceled, they beat the Bucks. They beat the Clippers. And some of those games weren't even like super close either.
They were on the upwards trajectory, and I honestly think they would have won the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, when the season resumes, I still have the Lakers winning it all because I know the players are putting in work right now. I mean, everyone is. It kind of sucks because we had all the momentum right when the season ended, but we can get that back. We can for sure get that back. But it was nice to see us beating those 2 really, really good teams. So
that debate will live on forever. But that's our opinion.
It'll live on forever. But I mean, if he has the most points and he wins another championship, it's hard. It's gonna be hard for Michael Jordan fan. I mean, the people growing up watching him are always gonna want to say he's the best. But eventually, let's see at the end of his career, we'll put it side by side. But I already think LeBron, he's already the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Those are our topics. We're going to try to keep it to 2 NFL topics and 2 NBA topics per episode.
Yep.
We'll try to get an esports and culture episode out soon. But thanks for tuning in to Clutch Cousins Sports Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.